Nice. Level 21. So the next set of level... Oh, the first one took me like 30 minutes. The second set took me... No, it was 40-ish minutes. Also, now that you can see that I've got level 2s, I've unlocked the second crystal here, which gets me a second floating bauble. Good stuff. Yes. Second set of 20 levels took me about an hour and 10. So 20 minutes longer than the last one, 30 minutes longer, 40 minutes to an hour 10, 30 minutes longer. Shells. Boom. And bloated boggies are out this way. Oh, let's have a quick... Yeah. Better staff, better gloves, better hat. Nice. That was the second rank of hunting logs sorted. The next are East Shroud, South Shroud, Lanosia, Western Townland. Oh, I can go and do that one. Yarls on Scavengers at the Footfalls. And Laughing Toads at the Footfalls. Yarzons and Laughing Toads are both through here. Because this is where the Footfalls is, just through here. They are quite a bit higher level than me now. Actually, no, they're actually not, because I've leveled up so much. Not too bad. Uh-oh. That was something I didn't want to happen. I need to fight with Matilda because I'm fighting stuff that is stronger than myself. And if Matilda was a healer, it would be super, super simple, but I've made her an attacker. Because when I'm a healer, having her as an attacker is better. grab and drag will be difficult. It will probably pull me into other things. Area. Easy peasy fighting these big frogs. There we go. Uh-oh. Oh, I have to kill this one now. Oh. Me accidentally lightninging the next enemy. Continuing the fight chain onwards. I need to teleport out of here before another frog grabs me. Oh, almost level 22. And you can go handing level 15 quest. All nice and straightforward. Hi, Cocobezzy. Welcome back, Tegan. I'm glad to see you making a habit out of not dying. Yeah. Before we discuss your trial further, however, I would ask you about Kokobusi. When I saw him... When I saw him but a few moments ago, he seemed odd. Well, odder than usual. Would you happen to know aught of it? Kokobusi joined me at my trial. Busi was at your trial? It is extraordinarily dangerous and foolish to interfere with a thaumaturge's training. I shall have to scold him most heartily. Such unpleasantness aside, I am impressed that you claimed victory in spite of this unexpected development. The teachings of the Yawning Abyss have served you well. With your experience and control thus demonstrated, I believe you are ready to add a new spell to your repertoire. Scathe. This elementally neutral blast of force will prove effective against all manner of opponents. As I am sure you are aware, to test this incantation's efficacy. My brain struggles with that word. As I am sure you are eager to test this incantation's efficacy, I shall grant you leave to return to your training. I pity the next hostile creature that crosses your path. So do I. Whee! I learned to scathe things. And give them a right telling off. And we've got the level 20 job quest, which gives us a new staff. It is mildly better than my staff that I got from the dungeon. Tegan, you're safe. I feared you had fallen victim to the Mage Slayer. Have you not heard of the recent spat of gruesome killings taking place within Uldar? Each case involves at least one dead thaumaturge, and every corpse is found bloody, battered, and utterly drained of etheric energy. Ill tidings aside, I'm glad to see you are alive and glowing with vitality. It is time for you to delve into the final chapter of the Yawning Abyss. Kokoboha, our second youngest sibling, will read to you from the Threat of Perplexity. Greetings, Tegan. Are you once more prepared to pursue the pages of power and peril? Then let us begin. The Threat of Perplexity. Ah, how magnificent the daunting power we wield. Flames pursue, ice transfixes, and lightning dances into the ranks of our enemies. But what terror descends when, from all sides, those ranks close. Flames are smothered, ice crushed, and lightning grounded. Know you this threat, and wear you the multitudinous foe. Is the point of this passage readily apparent? It would be most problematic, for example, should you meet this malefic mage slayer and he or she proves to be multiple marauders. What a thaumaturge needs is the thickest thrall, is a thick-set thrall, courageous companion to accompany her in cases where collective cronies are unexpected. Now, as for your trial, Kokoboha, pray allow me to suggest a practical course for Tegan's training. Hey, buddy. What's happened to your eyes, friend? Pretty sure you didn't always have red eyes. The town is buzzing with news of yet more slaughtered thaumaturges. Their mutilated bodies found fouling the waters of Novika's well. I would have Tegan aid me in hunting down the culprit while the trail is yet fresh. Tegan may have tolerated your interruptions of her trial the last time, Boosie, but you are hardly the hardy henchman she needs to clear such a hazardous hurdle. Your concerns are understandable, brother. If it would allay your fears, I can introduce Tegan to a valiant warrior who recently entered my employ. You've secured the services of a stalwart swordsman. Then that would indeed be in line with learning the lessons of the day, perhaps. Come now, Tegan. Let us be about our business before Kokoboha has any change of heart. I'll be waiting for you in Novika's well. Yep. Was that Kokobusi? It didn't look like him. Didn't sound like him. Oh, free company. Oh. I've been diving headfirst into the abyss and I got an invite from the abyss. Farron's Legion. I'm not really joining free companies. I aim to make my own whenever I get people to play with. So if you did want to play with me, you can find me. I do exist. I am here. You can shoot me a whisper and be like, hello. Novika's well is in West Thanlan. fly my bed over there. Whee! Swoosh. Ah, Tegan, so good of you to come. My rodent friend here is the warrior I mentioned back at the ossuary. Now, there's no time to waste. Why don't you head into the stream and examine the bodies of the slain mages? I would go with you, but my delicate stomach, I fear I might contaminate the scene. Remember, you're looking for anything that might help us track down this killer. Yum on more dried crumbs. Oop. Gathered evidence on the corpse by picking up the corpse. Now I've got 3 corpses in my pockets. Hi, Kakabusi. Did you uncover anything incriminating? I found a bloody scepter, a shredded tome, and a bloody bracelet. The blood is yet slick to the touch. The slaughtered must have been recent indeed, and the villain may yet lurk nearby. Return to the creek where the bodies lay, and linger for a time. I dare say your aura, saturated as it is with enticing etheric energy, will lure the mage slayer into the open. Have courage, Tegan. Our burly companion stands ready to leap to your aid. I don't know if he does. He stands all the way back there. Bouncy, bouncy, bounce. I'm ready. I can't sleep on them, so you have to ignore them. You immediately run up and hit one. Not a very smart swordsman. There we go. Might take care of that. Off to collect the coin. Good. Good. Big frog. It seems your partnership with our hired blade went splendidly. Uh, it is unfortunate how it is unfortunate though that one of the imps was able to flutter her away. Oh, did you not notice? You wouldn't wish to report to Kokoboha with your trial but half finished, would you? Of course not. I'm afraid, however, that the Rogden has already collected his recompense and departed for the nearest alehouse. What to do, what to do? Surely a thaumaturge of your caliber can handle a single imp, yes? If I'm not mistaken, it fled to the little cave over there. Hurry now before it slips away into some hidden nook or cranny. Yeah. Went over here, did it? Well, I'll just come over here and have a look nice and deep in this cave. Hmm. 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 That is not Kokobusi. Well, it is Kokobusi, but a Kokobusi possessed by the void scent that escaped from Mormo's urn. It was freed on the etheric energy of all. It was feeding on the etheric energy of all those slain thaumaturges. And you, my dear mana-rich Tegan, were to be next. I have wanted to absorb your delicious power since the moment we met. A pity. This has been such an amusing charade. However did you see through it? I am Kokobusi's brother. How could I not? It's time I destroyed you, Mormo, and put a stop to these sinister killings. As the eldest, I must take responsibility for my family's misadventures. A coward like you wants to destroy me. Your opening strike should have pierced my heart, but instead you aimed for the knife. Fear stays your hand. Fear that slaying me will also slay your sibling. He's not wrong. He can fly now. Oh, poor spineless thaumaturge. I shall, however, leave you with a pleasant thought. It was Kokobusi's fervent wish to amass this power. He craved the arcane strength to stand beside his brother as an equal. What a shame that he must now stand against you. It pains me to admit, but there is some truth to that creature's words. I surrendered the perfect opportunity to end this. I have betrayed my own teachings. Return to the ossuary and report the completion of your trial, Tegan. I will remain here for a time and gather my thoughts. Kokabuki has advised me of your adventures. It seems the Mage Slayer slithered away, but your stint with the Swordsman was nonetheless successful. Consider this chapter complete. Your time with our Tome of Teachings is at an end. Well, to be absolutely accurate, there is an addendum with additional advice, but Kokabuki considered it extracurricular. Even I dare not delve into those diabolical depths. I do not yet deign to die, you understand? I have yet to inform my brothers of Kokabusi's misfortune. I have yet to reconcile the maelstrom within my own mind. The most fundamental lessons of thaumaturgy demanded I slay the creature where it stood, but was the most opportune moment to strike. Minimal risk, and victory all but assured. How many more will suffer for my hesitation and my cowardice? It will likely be some time, however, before Mormo resurfaces to kill again. Now that we have uncovered the deception, the Void Scent will seek a new hunting ground where Kokabusi's face is unknown. And though my respite may be brief, I must devote this time to considering my next course of action. Pray leave me to my musings, Tegan. I guess while we are waiting to launch the Guildhurst Roulette, I can fly out of town, hop on one of my new mounts, and swoop away into the night towards Gridania, where some of my hunting logs are. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop onto here and turn the volume up a little bit. You folks hear it now. Hopefully that's audible. Because you then get to listen to some cool music. So the Kamuis are similar to how, I'll land briefly. I mentioned briefly that each of the games has a cycle of mounts that are themed around the primals. The base game has horses, which I think we've seen some of before, but I don't have any of them yet. Heaven's Ward has birds. For a second there, I blanked on what Shadowbringers had. Heaven's Ward had. Heaven's Ward has birds. Stormblood has the Kamui, of which I have 2 here, which is Seiriyu's and Blessed Wolf, who shall not be bound by such corporeal laws as gravity and aerodynamics. I don't remember whose that one is, the legendary one. Not sure. And then the Shadowbringers has Guibas, which are like little dragon guys. And as you ride the mount that is attached to one of the primals, it plays the music for the primal. I showed the Shadow Gweeper before, where it's like little dragon, and all of it, the cycles, sorry, oh, getting something stuck in my throat. The cycles of mounts are all stylized the same, with slight different colour changes, different effects, different lighting, that sort of thing. So I believe with the Gweebers, they have like different armour. So this one has a big spike coming out of its helmet. It's all purple themed, so it's like horns are purple, the bits on its wings are purple, and it's got this big purpley, glowy, shadowy effect. As I fly around on it, you can hear the music. Hopefully you can hear that music pretty well. I'll bring the volume up. Sorry about that loud ping. But you should be able to hear the music better now. There we go. Okay, so that gives an example. Let's jump on the Hello Kimui and listen to some Siri music. So it's a lovely white-blue dog with yellow markings on it, and the flames are light blue, ghostly flames. Little hunt minions here. Oh, the battle music today is a lot better now. And all the sound effects. Oh, bubbles can heal themselves. And I'll show you the legendary Kimui again. So it's got the kind of silver and gold look with the big green flames coming off it. a little bit of foresight into some of the epic music that's coming in the future of this game. In future expansions. Maybe I shouldn't be flying around on them to keep the music a secret, but a little sneak peek is always nice. Oh, got interrupted momentarily by the fake music. Sweeping through these trees. South Shroud upper paths. East Shroud, East Shroud. I can go do the 2 East Shrouds and then go back to the South Shroud. This third set of turns taking a lot longer than the previous ones. Oakwood. Upper paths. South Harbour. apologies for the sneeze. Get on these spells. And the little floaty orb. Oh no. My brain is trying to work out a way that I could hypothetically work in little floaty orbs around myself on my stream. And that seems overly complicated. It would be possible. I certainly know a way that I could do it. It would just be 2 layers of constant rotating animations. One placed above me, one placed below me, and they kind of go in opposite directions at the same time, which would be really awkward to set up. Try and make it work properly. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got a play accommodation. Nice. Oh, I remember where they are. Me having a moment forgetting which piece of water the F's are in. Oh, one more already. The Stomper. appear to have crashed into the rocks. I got myself lost and stuck. Snacking is not helping me not fall asleep. This is not good. We need to keep our progress. I think I just need to keep talking is the problem. When I stop talking because I'm just flying, that's when I start to nose off. Or stop talking because I'm just like going into a dungeon or something. It's past 3 o'clock though. Hi, Shadow Wolf. You must have logged in literally as I was nodding off, unfortunately. I'm not logging off though, I'm continuing the stream going. I just need to be more awake. And I'm going to do that by doing something. Dungeon running, probably. Oh, don't even worry about it. The stream's only going for about 3 hours so far. There's still plenty more stream. You've missed out on the first 24 levels, which means I'm almost a black mage. I need to do the level 25 and the level 30 job. Thaumaturge fast quests. And I've got plenty of hunting log to level me up a few levels, and I can run dungeons and I can run leaves. But there's still plenty of opportunity to get... Yeah, I went for magic. I picked Thaumaturge that goes into Black Mage. Oh, I definitely don't want to buy High Strong. I want to do regular strong. There we go. Regular strong is down here. Look at the size difference. Like, that's big. That's big. For? Oh no! Hopefully you do manage to fix it. I would love to have you here to chat. I'll also get my face kicked in by these level 31s. Uh-oh. Nope. I don't think I know this one away. Come on, Matilda, kill them. Whew. I forgot I can run and escape at the same time. Okay. That was tricky. I don't have any potions on me. No. No potions. But did Matilda level up from that? Not quite. Matilda will get enhanced strength. And then increased attack speed, and then Choco Blast. Entering a second enemy is not a great choice. I don't know what we're doing. Yeah, it got me. Being level 24 and fighting level 30 enemies is not really a great idea, but I'm trying to do it for the top end of my hunting log, which is the level 30, which is those stroppers. I thought I only needed 2, but that was the second one, and it didn't complete the hunting log for me, so there must be 3 that I have to kill, maybe more. Oh. You are no longer conscious. Participation in the duty is denied. Then load me in, please. There we go. much easier for me to level in a dungeon because I can hide behind the tank. Welcome back. Hopefully you have fixed it, because that would be good. Wow. Ooh, double thaumaturge. Hmm. No, like he's got the little dunce cap on. Hmm. Dude, I've got under 2. That's explode. You wonder what the first Final Fantasy was like. You never seen or played any of the early ones? They are very cool, actually. Like, have you played any of the old Pokemon games as well? They give similar vibes of that. It's like an overworld with pixel art, and then you go into like the battle screen. And the battle screen is a side-on, turn-based fighter. all very different from this. Yeah, they're very cool. I ended up having I played Final Fantasy 2 and the remake of Final Fantasy 3. Other than that, Final Fantasy 14 is like a little bit upsetting, but I haven't played a huge amount of other Final Fantasy games. I've seen bits of the others and I know like the lore of a bunch, or characters from a bunch of them. I don't really know the lore per se. Yeah, they were very cool. It's weird because Final Fantasy went through iteration, like what I've seen from the various games. So all the stories are completely different. All of the worlds are completely different. There's like some carryover of certain characters, but you don't really need to know that carryover because they're technically not the same character. Also, hooray, level up! 25. Yeah, so Final Fantasy went through like a few evolutions of how their games function and like the mechanics and the graphics and all that, because they've been going for a very long time. Final Fantasy has been going for a very long time. Like, I don't even know when the first one came out, like 1993, if I had 4, something around there, if I had to guess off the top of my head. You don't have to start from the first one. Like Final Fantasy 14, the world and lore of Final Fantasy 14 is entirely encased within Final Fantasy 14. In order to learn like extensive external lore, you don't actually really need to play the other games. You could just look into it. And even then, it's like it doesn't tell you the lore of Final Fantasy 14. It just tells you the lore of like how Black Mage as a class has evolved through the various games and things like that. Like it's not actual lore. It's more just like various themes that have run through games. Like whole materia system is something that exists in loads of Final Fantasy games, and they're not always the same. They're not always connected to the same sort of themes. Like some of them, they're like crystals milled out of the earth. In this game, they are crystals created by the planetary that are aspected pure or aether that's been crystallized. In some of the other games, they are. I think one of the games has them as like souls of ancient gods that have been fractured. I think that's aether in I don't even remember which game it is. It's like 8, I think. If I'm honest, I don't remember much of the lore, and I haven't played them all, but that sort of thing, where like the materia system exists, but it's not the same every time. And like the character of Sid, there is always a character called Sid, which I think is referencing one of the dev team from original Final Fantasy games, or like one of the dev team knows. But the actual character of Sid is different every single game. So like in this, he's a pilot of an airship who used to work for the Empire. In one of the other games, like I think Final Fantasy VII, I know what he looks like, I don't know what he actually does. I think he's an engineer, but I think he works on like fixing cars and motorcycles and things, rather like vehicles rather than airships. Yeah, I went and found out how I can do an emulator for the old Pokemon games. And I'm very interested in potentially running through them all on stream and doing some kind of Nuzlocke sort of thing. Because I own all the games, I own all the consoles, I can't stream them from the consoles. Like, I have a Game Boy Classic. There is zero way that I could get the screen of the Game Boy Classic, other than like filming it on my phone, which would be terrible quality, to actually show on stream. So I'd be tempted to play through all the old Pokemon games, because I played, with Pokemon specifically, I played the first 3 generations, then I fell out of the series, then I came back into the series with Pokemon Sword and Shield, and then sort of fell out of the series again in the more recent one. But I like the concept of the games, and I like the games, I just haven't really played them. And I went back, like a few years ago, I went back and I bought a bunch of the games from the generations that I missed, and intended to play through all of them, start to finish, every single generation, in just like my own little private thing, not streamed at all. But my brain then was like, I now have to do it that way. If I'm going to replay them all, I have to do it from start to finish, because that's how I want to do it now. And I thought it'd be great to stream them all. And then I realised that my Game Boy Classic and my Game Boy Color both are having electrical issues. Ooh, and Lost Thunder too. But yeah, so I do have an emulator. Like, I haven't downloaded the emulator, but I've already found out from someone what emulators they are. What emulators to use. So I already have the resources, I just need to actually download it all and try it out, and then try out how I could stream them. And then obviously I can stream them when I can work that all out. But yeah, so there's what was I talking about before that? Final Fantasy, history of Final Fantasy, the evolution of the games. So they start off with like that almost same as the Pokemon games, where they start off and they're like, we're on handheld consoles, we're on like Dreamcast? Was Final Fantasy 1 on the Dreamcast? Possibly. That sort of era of game consoles. Like, I don't know if the PlayStation 1 had come out at that time. I don't even know what I'm doing, I'm just running around. That's what I was doing. But yeah, so there's an element of, they're all pixel artwork, because that's the most powerful gaming thing we had, was 8-bit pixels, or 16-bit? No, 8-bit at that time. So they were all 8-bit games. And so when you were running around in the overworld, it would all be from this perspective, but obviously your character is in 8-bit, so your character is viewed like this. from a front-on pixel artwork, but the entire world is viewed like top-down pixel artwork, and you move like up, down, left and right, and you move around the world and explore it. And as you're running around the overworld, like when you run into a town or a city, it would go into another interior screen of like, these are the streets of the town or city. Still in pixel, still in top-down. Running around the streets, you can like run into shops, and it goes into the inside of the shop, and you can run around the inside of the shop and interact with the shopkeepers. And you open up your little menus like you do in Pokemon, where it's like, yes, I would like to buy rather than sell. I want to buy this, I want to buy this many of this item. And then you buy them, you spend the gil, you get the items, and you run out. Back into the town, run back out of the town, off into the overworld. And while you're running around in the overworld, there are obviously, like, as well as towns, there's also like dungeon things where when you run into the dungeon, you get like an interior of the dungeon top-down view, and you run around there. But while you're in the dungeons and while you're in the overworld, you can encounter random battles. I was going to say my doorbell also went, so I will momentarily pause and come back to this in a second. I'm back. Sorry about that pause there. It was actually deliveries for me, so I kind of needed to go and get them. I hoped they had turned up this morning, but they didn't. They turned up now. Sorry about that. Where was I? Yeah, so you could go into dungeons and you could go into cities, and there would be an interior top-down view with your pixel artwork running around. And while running around in dungeons, while running around in the overworld, and at like any scripted moments in the story, there would be battles. So there would be random battles in the overworld and in the dungeons that when you stumble across them, they would be like walking through tall grass in Pokemon. And it would be like, you're in the battle, little animation. You're then on the battle screen, where you and your enemy would both be side on. Like say me and this random NPC are both part of the same party. We would be like this. Side on, all staggered as a party. And then the enemies would be the other side. So we would be here, staggered along the one side, and the enemies would be the other side, all staggered along. And it would have like the little background pixel art. And then all like the menus, where you could go through the menus, like in Pokemon, and be like, I want to do a magic, or an attack, or a summon. And use the ability. And it would deal however much damage. And you'd all take it in turns. So like your characters would each have their turn, and all the enemies would have their turn, and they would tick up through their turn timer based on their speed. So if someone was twice as fast as someone else, they would get twice as many turns because their turn timer would tick round quicker, which was quite clever. As technology advanced, I guess is the easiest way to describe it. As games got more interesting and more complicated, we jumped to polygon artwork on things like PS1, PS2, and we got like the more mid-rangey Final Fantasy games, like Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, 5 I think was also in this chunk of Final Fantasy games. And they were all... Oh god, I have to fight force droppers. Just an upper one, yeah, okay. But yeah, so they were all pixel artwork, or polygon artwork, similar to things like Banjo-Kazooie or the Legend of Zelda games that were on Nintendo 64. And they would all be like you're a little, like similar to this, where you're a little pixel polygon, not pixel, need to stop saying pixel. You're a little polygon character who is the main character of the story. It was an RPG more than it was an MMO, so you didn't really get to customize your characters at this point in the Final Fantasy franchise. And the early ones you didn't either. In fact, most of the early ones, they weren't even named. It was just, you're playing as the fighter. You can change your class, but your character is still your character. You also have in your party the white mage, the black mage, the lancer, the rogue, and you can form up a party of 4 and bring them round with you. But as games got to this stage, it was very much more story driven. Not the original ones weren't, but they were more vague in their story of just like, the world is in danger, go save the world from the Empire by doing X, Y, and Z steps. This was more like, using Final Fantasy VII, the most notable as an example, Cloud Strife, an ex-soldier has to fight against a big corporation and the evil overlords that are trying to run the world with the evil corporation. And so he joins a band of renegades who are trying to take down the corporation. And that's where the story kicks off, and he literally just like goes around... What am I even looking for? It's literally following Cloud, and you run around in like the little polygon world. And the actual world, I think, is still at like an isometric view for most of it. But your little polygon character can like turn and move rather than just like the static pixel. They bob up and down while moving sideways and still facing forward. This one was these were actually like, it's an isometric view, but you can run and your character turns and they do like a little running animation. And then again, random battles, like there'll be phases where you can go into like dungeons and different chunks of the dungeons and then back into the overworld. And like little story cutscenes and that sort of thing. So more of a story-driven game, similar to like Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or Banjo-Kazooie, or like the early Metal Gear Solid games, that sort of thing. I'm completely the wrong map. Am I paying more attention to my own little story? Forest Yarsons, Upper Lannister, Oakwoods. I am in Upper Lannister, aren't I? Yeah, Oakwoods is the other side. I'm just flying around, not even paying attention to where I'm going. But yeah, and then we get into the newer Final Fantasy games, where we had like Final Fantasy XI and Final Fantasy XIV are obviously the MMOs, where you've got much more refined polygon 3D modelling software working on them. Obviously when this first started it was kind of still polygons, and you can see some of that in like the character model. It's like, yes, that is a knee, even though it's a line going up and then a line going down, because that is where the polygons are, and you can see like all the little hexagons and the lines, and that's your actual character model breaks down into a bunch of polygons that are just nicely rendered. And like you can see all the like slightly chunky, choppy lines on everything. Yep, my bed takes me everywhere. Just not the places where I'm actually trying to get to. But yeah, and then though outside of the MMOs, there were like, I think the one that I know of that first sort of did it was Final Fantasy 11. I don't know if 10 did the same or 9 did the same. As far as I'm aware, 8 didn't, but it might have. Where you had more actual like 3D rendered characters. And so it still had the, as far as I'm aware, it still had the isometric viewpoint, and then in the newer ones you could control your camera angle, and you could move your camera angle around, and you would do the same sort of thing. You'd go into dungeons, you'd fight enemies, you'd have cutscenes to tell the story, you'd be following like a main cast of characters that you could kind of pick what roles they fill, but obviously they're designed to fill a specific role each. And then I haven't really followed many of the newer ones. Like Final Fantasy 13 I played a bit of, and it was that sort of game. Haven't really done the new ones. And I didn't even really enjoy Final Fantasy 13, if I'm honest. It wasn't my kind of game. Like, I like this because it's an MMO, but Final Fantasy has never been my sort of franchise. I just kind of popped in and out of it every so often to be like, yeah, they're doing some cool stuff. Final Fantasy 14, however, is my kind of game, because they constantly do cool stuff, and they constantly update it, and they constantly, like, we've literally just had 7.2 release, I think. It's just a new update heading towards the next expansion. A bunch more dungeons and story and all sorts have been added. What's my next hunting quest? Southern Thaumland, Southern Thaumland, Southern Thaumland, and the 2 Strumpers. So I guess we're going to Southern Thaumland. That will take a step off to pick up the level 25 quest. Yes, Final Fantasy XIV is on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So while I play it on PC using a controller, there you might, like, one of my friends plays it on their Xbox, and it does cross-platform. You can play with each other on different platforms, and it works absolutely fine. I believe you can also stream from other like consoles. There is a way that you can set it up to make it work. I'm not sure how you would go about implementing like extra bits and pieces to your stream, like having a VTube model in the corner wouldn't really work as well, because that's me having like 4 different programs open at the moment and having it all programmed into my OBS. And I don't know if an Xbox can run Final Fantasy XIV and OBS and Twitch and another program all at the same time. Or even if OBS or the other program are on an Xbox or a PlayStation. But I know you can at least run Final Fantasy XIV and Twitch to stream it if you wished. Oh, I missed a level. I was too busy chatting and ignored what he was saying. Kokobuki is not his usual unflappable self. It frightens me to see our eldest so indecisive. Terrifies me, in fact. Perhaps you might speak with him and help him banish this air of uncertainty. Tegan, long have I agonised over Kokobusi's plight. You already know how to do that. That's good then. Long have I agonised over Kokobusi's plight. and the measures I might take to extricate him from it. It would not do to call upon my thaumaturge colleagues. No, they would simply seek to obliterate my brother outright. Our teachings from the yawning abyss allow for no other alternative. There is, however, one tiny glimmer of hope. I have had word that the scholars who requested the destruction of Mormo's urn have returned from their expedition. They are currently in Camp Drybone, blowing the ink dry on their collective findings regarding the wretched void scent. I would ask that you go to these experts of otherworldly phenomenon and beg permission to peruse their work. Okay. You'll run different stuff, different tracking. The PS4 will not run everything. Yeah, that makes sense. That's it. It's very much a case of, as consoles get better, you can do this sort of stuff. But they're no PC where you can just run like 12 different... Like, I'm literally running 7 programs right now. And that's the minimum amount of things I can run to host this stream with all the bits and pieces that I've got on it at the moment. I will be able to add extra bits and pieces just through OBS by just like drawing things and animating them and putting them in. But that will take time. And I will get to them, I just haven't got to them yet. Yeah. Where did they say to go? Camp Drybone. East Stanland. And then we need to go South Stanland and finish off the hunting logs there as well. What? Oh no, have I confused you? What have I confused you with? Me adding extra things? I do plan on adding extra things to my stream. I just haven't got to them. Smirking Void Math. Another Lalafell. Apparently all of the thaumaturge quest givers are Lalafells. Everyone in this story is Lalafells. And I'm being followed by another Lalafell. If you seek the definitive work of Mormo, then seek no further. I have penned an in-depth analysis of the most cunning ritual. A method contrived by the mages of Eld to annihilate the soul of this especially potent void scent. When it comes to draining such a creature of its aetheric energies, one must... but I have not the time to stand here explaining the intricacies of shaping arcane pottery. Here, take my chapter and read it at your leisure. Good. Oh, the 7 different programs. They are running my various things. In all honesty, I could probably get away with dropping down to 3. I could probably get away with dropping down to 3, but then I would be losing out on quite a lot. Like, I wouldn't be able to see chat if I dropped down to 3. I wouldn't be able to run interval music. I can actually close one of them, technically. I can close that, and it doesn't affect anything. So I'm now on 6 different programs. 5 of which are actually hosting my stream and running it. And like all the other little bits and pieces. She's the first non-Lalafell. So you wish to learn of Mormo? Right this instant? But we've barely... How did you... Well, I suppose I could spare a copy of my writings. I've already prepared several extra sets to share with potential publishers. I can well understand your curiosity. Mormo is truly fascinating, even among the oddities of the Void Send. She is far too powerful to make use of the tiny holes that open between our realities, and thus must send across only her spirit to possess a corpse or some other suitable host. You'll find it all explained in there in the second chapter. The last chapter. Up on the roof. Good thing I checked before I ran inside. Yeah, the first Not Lalafell. And then there's another Not Lalafell up here. I overshot my jump. The best part is I can just fly, so I could have just flown up there rather than running all the way around. I forgot we weren't actually in a city. You're interested in reading the Book of Mormo? Of course. It would be a pleasure to share our findings with a fellow student of the Void Scent. Here is the first chapter, my own humble contribution to our research. It tells the tale of how we became aware of the creature's existence, and delves into the nature of the urn that imprisons her fell power. And I take their copies and I run off back to the Thaumaturge's Guild. I'm going to go to the South Shroud first and defeat my hunting log enemies, which are Potter's Wasp Swarms in Broken Water and Corpse Brigade Knuckle Dancers in Broken Water. And something over in the Red Labyrinth, Fire Spirits. Should be doable. Oh, there's a Wasp Swarm. It's an AoE. There we go. Ooh, they're bees. I got some honey. blade stood in the middle. Just because a fate snap storm. It's already spawned. Brass blades are half the fate storm. I'm wondering, oh. What am I giving you? Look. It's a boss fate, so we're here to kill it. He came out just to stop me flying away and then ran off. I see how it is. Okay, a lovely normal spot to have my bed. Fits perfectly. Perfectly normal spot to have my bed. Ignore the fact that it's wobbling up and down. It's not flying, it's sitting. Kill me. Study me in the comments. I appreciate it. Log. Next, we've got 4 fire spirits in the red labyrinth. And then back to go and fight 2 more strawberries. Oh, actually, let's go with. These are level 30, that's not very good. But we can beat them because they're not aggressive, which means we can fight them one at a time. You have 3 chapters of the Book of Mormon. Yes, it's the Book of Mormon. Not the Book of Mormo, it's always the Book of Mormon, clearly. The histories unearthed in the ruins of Sildur depict the suffering... hi Sana, how are you? Depict the suffering wrought by a singularly powerful void scent, the cunning and terrible seductress known as Mormo. No, it's fine. No one has to be worried about being late. Just turn up when you want to turn up, watch what you want to watch, enjoy yourself. That's the main takeaway. With genius born of desperation, the mages of the now fallen city fashioned an urn that would drain and imprison the etheric vitality of any creature that laid a hand or claw upon it. Mormo, believing she was receiving a gift of appeasement from the beleaguered citizens, found her very essence drawn forth and trapped within the ensorcelled pot. You just had lunch. Nice. Over the course of several centuries, the captive etheric energy was intended to weaken and dissipate, allowing any surviving descendants to safely shatter the urn and thus destroy Mormo's enervated spirit? We'll go with enervated. Makes sense. The pot's lid was never to be opened again. To do so would release the ravenous void scent, opening the pot frees it, but smashing the pot kills it. So you've got to make sure you smash it in a very particular way that it doesn't open on impact. To do so would release the ravenous void scent, freeing her soul to enslave the nearest mortal vessel. As possession of this nature is irreversible, the only mercy afforded to such a host should be a swift and decisive demise. This explains Mormo's fixation on thaumaturgicide. That's a word and a half. Kokobusi's body provided little arcane sustenance for the weakened void scent, forcing her to prey upon richer sources of aether to restore her hideous power. This morsel of information may prove most vital. In fact, it may be the only glimmer of hope our poor sibling has. Pray hand me this work over to Kokobigo. I shall be along momentarily. Every time I run up here and try to talk to Kokobigo, it just goes, Kokobani, right? It's like, no, the one next to him that actually has a quest. RS3? RuneScape 3 is what my brain reads there. What is RS3? And is it RuneScape 3? Oh, it actually is. I didn't know they made a third one. I know they made a second one, and I played a lot of the first one. Did not know they made a third one. Didn't hugely like the second one, purely because at that point I was playing Final Fantasy 14 and I was like, no, I found the MMO for me, I'm good with 14. Oh, this is a work devoted to studying that nasty void scent. I should hope it provides some hint of salvation. The Kokobuki? These passages hold naught but misery and despair. It seems we have little choice but to employ our traditional approach. Though fraught with danger, there is one solution that promises an alternative to killing Kokobusi. If we fail, however, it will likely mean death for us all. Hey, RuneScape 3 is basically old school RuneScape, but with a bunch of like graphical updates. Is that it? The real question is, does it still have the membership zone, or is the whole game now membership zone? Who is this mad mage that possessed... Now, who is this mad mage that poses as our eldest brother? What of avoiding the threats or eliminating the risks? Is that now how we thaumaturges do battle? With each passing moment, Mormo draws ever closer to her full strength. It pains me to even suggest it, but we should strike now. Kokobuki, while the void scent is yet feeble. I share that self-same sentiment. Sorrowful though it may be, we must slay our enslaved sibling, and soon. Old school RuneScape is a pretty AFK game where you can just be like, mine this rock, please. Okay, now I click here, mine this rock, please. Okay, that's... Or you just like set yourself to hit with sword, and then you just stand in an area where enemies spawn, and they will just go, we're fighting you now. They'll spawn and go, we're fighting you now. And they'll walk over and start attacking you, and you'll go, I'm being attacked. Hit with sword. Okay, back to being asleep. Listen, brothers, for my solution is thus. In return for releasing Kokobusi from Mormo's thrall, I will offer the Void Scent the chance to glut herself on my mana. You cannot. That succubus will drain you to a lifeless husk. You're farming on BO3 campaign. You're trying to reach level 20, it's hard. No. Oh no. And such a feast will awaken all her terrible magics. The well of my power is vast. I wager Mormo's thirst will be slaked before my spirit fully runs dry, and the newly enlivened Void Scent? She will then face the combined wrath of Tegan and our 4 guildmasters of thaumaturgy. How can we hope to prevail against this paragon of preternatural potency? We have always avoided adversaries against whom we have held no advantage. The fault lies with me. Ever have I encouraged such avoidance, and taught only the wisdom of certain victory. It is time we learned the courage to fight battles of unsure outcome. I've come up with this plan where I get to stand here and possibly die, but I don't have to do any of the actual fighting, so my life is in all of your hands. And it is you, Tegan, that I ask to instruct us. There is yet one chapter left in the Yawning Abyss, one that is customarily hidden from newer members. Undertake the trial found within, and show my brothers what it means to be brave. How can you ask such a thing of poor Tegan, when even her guildmasters have yet to attempt that ghastly test? The arcane might you all possess is far greater than you believe. Tegan, once you deemed yourself prepared for the lessons of the true final chapter, meet us in the hallowed hall of Thal's Respite. Oh, and my dungeon launched. Which means I'm not ready yet, because I will go do this dungeon and then I will be ready, and I will come back and I will meet at Thal's Respite. Make sure I eat my runes. Yeah, I remember little bits about RuneScape. Mostly the music, but... Oh, they went too far out of range. My range is pretty far, though, that they only just went out of range there. Alright, you're level 17! You have 43,939 experience to get to level 17. I've got 54,000, like 20,300 experience to get to level 28? 1 point. Oh no. If only there was more to do in the game. Like, I've got several options to try and level up. Yeah, to be fair, I am just mostly killing these targets as well. Just I'm doing it by dungeons, and I could do leaves, I could do my hunting log, my job level quests. There are a few options. Oh gosh, that sounds very, very intense. I'm surprised you can do that while also watching the or even if you're just listening. That still sounds like a lot. Oh, there was a solar eclipse. What? I did not even know that. I didn't know. It's been lovely and sunny all day as far as I can tell though. I would have thought the light would have changed if there was a solar eclipse. Oh well. I miss out on lots of astral phenomenon. Like when lots of places in the UK got the Aurora not that long ago. I kind of missed out on the whole thing because I was at work. Woo! We did it! Oh, I've already got the Taurus staff. Oh, and I got a commendation again. Yay! Now then, level 29. Need to go up to Thal's Respite. Shouldn't be too bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you live somewhere where you have clear visions of the sky and the stars and things, it would be really good to have a telescope. If you're interested in that sort of stuff. Like I have kind of a passing interest. I regret having to drag you into our family's troubles, but I am confident that with the many and terrible trials you have bested already, you will prevail once more. The hidden chapter of the Yawning Abyss presents a trial that challenges the accumulated knowledge and skills of a single thaumaturge. You must employ all the tools at your disposal if you hope to seize victory this day. Let the trial commence. Oh, the creature I was riding was the legendary Kamui. I was going to tell. So in the itinerant Moogle quest, it had 5 mounts this time round. So the reason I was doing the fishing over the last few weeks and got my fisher to level 91 with a level 1 fishing rod, which is very funny. So I've almost level 100'd my fisher just by doing ocean fishing, because I was doing it to collect itinerant Moogle stones. And the reason I was doing that was to get the special items in the itinerant Moogle shop, which I had. I then completed. The event has ended since. But I got the 5 mounts, which were the bed. Lovely, calm, relaxing bed. We've got the falcon, which is a little scooter, little jet scooter, that when you fly in it becomes a little helicopter. Beep, beep. Then there was the Shadow Gweaver, which is one of the Shadowbringer extreme primal mounts. So the music that plays is from one of the primals, and it is stylized after one of the primals, I believe. I don't fully remember. And then I got 2 Kamuis, which are the Stormblood extreme primal mounts. So we got the one, we got this one. Lovely blue and orange dog. And then we got the legendary Camus, which was the one that I was riding a second ago. It's like a silver and gold dog with the green ghost wispies. But when you ride them around, they play the theme of the primal that you got them from. Which obviously I didn't get them from the primals, but they are set to specific primals. Oh no! You died! Back to level 16. Oh. That sounds horrible. Hopefully I don't do exactly the same right now. And just immediately end up dying. Yeah, so the Kamui basically are legendary dogs. So they are very wolf looking. But the Kamui are themed for Stormblood, which is the second expansion. Oh no. I forgot they have these. Like, here's things that just cast silence on them. You don't kill them quick enough. I think you're getting a full Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy 14 or one of the other games. Because I would say even if you intend to get Final Fantasy 14 and the full Final Fantasy 14 and all the expansions in one purchase, I would still play the free trial because it's effectively you get to just have some time. You can get on the recommendation track, which gets you free stuff in the game, and you can get an extra month worth of just playing the game, which means you can progress through the game and enjoy some of the story mode and that sort of stuff by just playing for free for a bit. I cannot stop shaking, but I think this might actually be excitement. Do you see now, my brothers? With the primal energies of thaumaturgy at your command, there is no threat which you cannot overcome. Perhaps there is a chance we could save Kokobusi. I need to reconsider some of my strategies. It seems we have been wasting our potential. I would never have believed it possible for a mage to show such courage and live. What a wonder Tegan was! I feel my fingers itching and to fling fire with a fury. Imagine my siblings. What towering enemies you might topple should you stand firm together. Thank you, Tegan. Your inspiring display of magecraft has set the minds of my brothers reeling with new possibilities. Let us now return to the guild and discuss what is to come. Yeah, the free trial is very useful, just for like getting a feel of the game, because I know that there are certain games that do not gel with people. Like, while I really want to love Marvel Rivals, I tried playing it, not for me. Like the whole control system, just it's the same sort of thing as this, where it's like you look around with one joystick, you move with the other joystick, and then you press buttons to attack. But I've only got 2 thumbs, and so while one of those thumbs is pressing attacks, it can't be looking around. And in a game that fast-paced, where like you have to be constantly vigil of like what's going on around you, and it's a big 3D space because half the champions can fly. So an enemy could just come up from like above you, from behind, and be like, "Cool, I'm hitting you now. You're dying." And the second you take those first couple of hits, you're then in a losing position. And I'm just generally not that great at shooter games. So the essence of like, I need to make sure I'm hitting my hits to make up that disadvantage is then like, oh, nope. Can't be doing that because I can't be looking and shooting and moving all at the same time. Yeah, didn't gel with me. I couldn't get my head around it. If we can stop farming for now. That's fair. But yeah, so I'd say the free trial is worth it for Final Fantasy 14 because you might get into the game and just be like, actually, I'd love to love the game, but I just don't. Like, just something might just not. And obviously there's elements of like, if something's in the wrong place, you can just be like, okay, I jump into the HUD layout and I just like move something. Like, oh, I don't like these hotbars being here. I'm gonna put them over here. They're over here now. You can just like pick up and move pretty much everything. And the keybinds allow you to change all the button controls and that sort of stuff. And there's a bunch of stuff that when I make a new character, I immediately jump in and like change a bunch of the things. But I've played it for so long that I just know everything that I change. So like setting the buttons to have an auto mount and an auto run. And then like changing some of the controls for like double jumping does something. I can't remember. I think double jumping normally gets you on a mount, but I turn that off. I think that's what it does. Yeah, when I played with mouse and keyboard, I would re-keybind a bunch of stuff. But I've played this game for so long that I'm like, I know what I re-keybind and what to. Whereas I think, like, from my own example, me going into Marvel Rivals, the issues I had with the controls could be something I could fix with keybinding. But from the outset of that game, I looked at it and I was like, I can't even find where I go to change key bindings. And all the tutorials are set to specific key. Like, it's like, this key does this, this key does this, this key does this, these keys combo together. You can combo with these characters. And it's like, but can I change them? Can I reset them to be like to be like the button key, the shoulder buttons? Because I'd love to be able to do it with shoulder buttons, because then I could have the move and dodge. I could have the move and aim and use my fingers on the shoulder buttons to do all 3 at the same time. And it's like, nope. You can't do that. Or if you can, I couldn't work it out. Yeah, when we get enough people, we can make a free company. And I've got 1 million gil, as you can see up here, which by the time I get through Heaven's Ward will likely be 2 million gil at minimum, which should be plenty to make a guild. It might just not be enough to build a house as well. That might have to wait till later. What a formidable team you all shall make. Kukabaigo, Kukabani, Kukabesi, Kukaboha, taken. Even Mormo must wither before the onslaught of your combined thaumaturgy. But before we engage the Void Scent, perhaps some time is needed for my brothers to unlearn their ingrained inclinations. Meanwhile, I suggest you hurl yourself into the chasm of your studies. Your fearless thaumaturgy is as a beacon to us all. I do like that I could get the silver spectacles headgear, and then I could wear a set of spectacles under a set of spectacles. That would be very funny. In fact, am I at the moment? Yep, I'm wearing a monocle under the set of glasses. You can see this gold rim here, which is the monocle lens, underneath the silver glasses. It's got this little dangly bit on the monocle. It's very silly. What would we name the guild? Burrow Folk? I've kind of gotten to taking people who join my Discord Burrow Folk. Because it is the Burrow, and therefore our guild would be something to do with Burrow Folk. And when we get a guild house, it would be the Burrow. I think. If that sounds good. Obviously, when we get whoever we get in the guild, because I think you need 4 players, 5 players to start one up, we can have a chat about it. And we can properly decide then. It sounds funny. Yeah, we'll have a burrow. And all the burrow folk, and then I will get to design the whole interior of the burrow, unless someone else becomes a crafter and becomes more adept at crafting than I am. I need to get half a level. Got one more, which would be 30,000 experience, which is just not enough. But if I go fight 2 more stroppers, that'll be most of the level up. I'm now posh. Why am I posh? What happened? Why did I become posh? Huh? I'm confused. I became posh at some point, and I do not know why. Already up for Pokemon. And then we'll do the teleport to New Redania. In fact, we're already in a town. We can spend like half the money and just go by airship. I do not know why I am posh. Oh, right. I'm posh because I have a monocle underneath my glasses. That makes sense. Yes. The double layers of glasses over glasses over glasses. I think, can you triple layer it? Like, I think technically one of the sets of glasses that you can get is like the one with all the flick down lenses on one side. Appraiser's spectacles. So you can have like gem appraisal spectacles for some of your crafters and gatherers, or crafters mostly. Monocle is why I am posh. Yeah. But yeah, you can get the monocle with all the appraiser's lenses, and you can. Not even going to question what people are doing. Thing. My brain turned off. Oh, I thought they had bunny ears then. They don't, they've got reindeer antlers. I know there are bunny ears. I want to know if I can get mouse ears, like proper mouse ears, because then I can change my headset and just have every single glamour I have with mouse ears. Pick a different hairstyle. Because this is currently the closest thing I can get to mouse ears. Can I apply for a promotion? Huh. I can't. I'm still very far off. In that case, can I buy some ventures, please? Thank you. No, let's just get 16. This is why I'm never going to get a promotion, because I keep buying ventures. Hi, Joe Boy. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Ooh. You'll be joining my next stream with friends? Are you going to raid me? Am I going to be raided? I am streaming tomorrow, so... Yeah, you are all burrow folk. Or the people who are in my Discord are burrow folk. If everyone wants to be burrow folk, you are welcome to. Currently it is just the people in my Discord. Because everyone outside of my Discord has not joined the burrow yet. But we might extend it outwards and you might all become burrow folk. Let's give you a new venture. Go gather me some stuff. And then I should also go and sell a bunch of other random stuff that I've gained. Just a bunch of money pouches that I was holding. And a bunch of animal parts that I don't actually need at the moment. I can just throw all of them into the shop. There we go. Twitch is too powerful. Oh no. Hopefully your phone can keep up. Then we need to go to South Shroud. No, Central Shroud. Yes, Central Shroud. Well, we're almost at level 30. We are doing the plan for this whole weekend was to do the 1 to 50, which, if I can get to 50 today, then my stream tomorrow can be something completely different. Probably still in Final Fantasy, because I had already kind of pre-planned to do the 1 to 50 in Final Fantasy, but potential to just be like, now we go do one of the Allied Society quests, like go and unlock those. Or go and unlock all of those. We could just go around and get all of them. Or like extreme trials, extreme bosses, that sort of stuff. So there's options. But obviously we will, depending on how far we get today, maybe still need to do some leveling to get to 50. to exact revenge on these strippers. Oh, but not just yet, because I've managed to get into Hoke Manor. Dungeon time! Dungeon time! Good house style dungeon time. And this should get us to level 30. The flaming axe is very full. Launch some fire everywhere inside this mostly wooden haunted house. I see nothing that could be problematic with this. I'm just going to go flying in and burn everything. Grab a tiny key. Also let me know if the music is a bit too loud in comparison to my voice. Because I tried to balance them a bit more, but I obviously can't hear the stream my end. And obviously to me, my voice is much louder than what's going on stream. On the screen, I guess. The other two getting ahead of themselves and running the other way. I'm stealing all the tiny keys, even though I'm pretty sure we're just going to go to the end chunk. Skip all these little side rooms. I wish to use a tiny key to unlock this room that just has treasure in. That's what we like to see. You can tell that's someone who has played this for a long time. They hit the return button at that point in the dungeon. That's what you used to have to do. Greeting all the loot. Reaching all the little bits and pieces that we find. Keeping all the little bits and pieces that we find. Oh, I got a play accommodation. I got leaving good impressions too. Now we're ready. Level 31, we're definitely ready to fight these strippers. I'm not even a challenge anymore. There we go. And then that's that part of the hunting log done. So now we're on part 4 of the hunting log, which is obviously level 30 to level 40. But first, we need to go pick up our Facing Your Demons. Which is we go back to Uldar, the Thaumaturgist's Guild. We do the level 30 Thaumaturgy quest, that then unlocks the Becoming a Black Mage quest, and we can become a Black Mage. And reassign where a bunch of our skills are on our hotbars and all that sort of stuff. There'll be lots and lots of fancy cool things. Speed racing along with my little duckbill platypus sliding along behind me. Whee! Squish, 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 squish. Definitely doesn't look comfortable to be that duckbill sliding upstairs. Hi, Kokabuki. Ooh, I get fancy gear. A new scepter, which is and then Mana Ward, which creates a barrier that nullifies damage totaling up to 30% of your maximum HP. Not bad. Fortune has favoured us, Tegan. Kokabusi has been spotted at Vesper Bay. We cannot let this opportunity pass us by. Head there with all due haste, and with you take these descriptions. Of my brother's likeness and Mormo's mannerisms. Relay this information to some of the local residents and see what you can find. All haste. Where did I put my Vespa Bay White tickets? Might have given them to my retainer. Oh well, we can go to Ral actually. I don't actually need to be hasty, I can just like fly there. It'll be fine. Quest. Thamlanalan. We'll fly over there on the Shadow Guiba. Let's listen to a different boss music. flew in a really weird direction and ended up getting to the wrong place. I was too busy looking at the wrong things. Looking at all my hunting logs. What's that, miss? You say you're looking for someone? I believe I saw your Lalafell in the company of a couple of adventurers, hailing from Limsa Lamensa, a marauder and a thaumaturge. Right, I hazard a guess. I think they were talking about seeing the area north of here. Something I can do for you, stranger? Now that you mention it, I did see a Lalafell who matches this description. He was watching the ferries come in with more of the passing interest. Looking to hire some adventurers or some such, I reckon. I can look at those. Need to find the third person. In this building? Aha. Just gonna skip over that whole chunk there. Information, is it? Aye, that little bloke was in here, bringing a blush to all the young maiden's cheeks. What he lacked in height, he certainly made up for in boldness. Left with more than one lass on his arm, he did. Fair enough. So Mormo has chosen this as her new hunting ground. The maidens seduced by the succubus will be prepared as vessels to hold her fully restored power. I fear they will have already been slain. As for the adventurers, well, I think you can imagine what Mormo intends for the thaumaturge. We must find and warn those unwitting Laminsons before the void scent strikes again. You were told that they might be headed north, yes? It would be best for you to follow suit. In bed. As I fly away. Oh, it's in the tunnel. I thought it would be north of the tunnel. I thought I'd be safe off just flying over the top. Still here. It's still here. Somewhere close. Oh, missionary? It is actually like the same size as me. So bigger than I am. You still have more to tell me, sir. Me thanks, lass. Me head. That said he would give us a grand tour of Uldar. Aye, it's been grand, all right. Please, he took me mate further north. Think he was muttering something about moon drip. Tegan, what has befallen? I sensed the presence of void scent, but it appears you have things well in hand. Mormo is in Moondrip, a fitting place for the battle to come. It is time to finish this, my brothers. Kokobusi will be a slave to that fiend no longer. Little Lalafell waddle away. Right, Moondrip is this little cave over here. I shall approach Mormo first, as we discussed. If the bargaining proceeds smoothly, and the Void Scent feasts on my proffering manner, then she should soon manifest in her demonic form. Once Mormo is fully present within this realm, that is when you unleash the seething power of the abyss. Though, after lecturing for so long on how a thaumaturge should avoid such threats, I yet hold doubts as to whether such a direct conflict is the correct path. Taken, in your experience, what do you consider to be a thaumaturge's greatest strength? Overwhelming destructive might. Yes, there is none who can match our propensity for fiery ruin. We need not run from danger, but rather employ our unrivaled powers to incinerate all that seek to do us harm. I am decided. My fate awaits me. I have faith that no matter what becomes of me, you shall succeed in destroying Mormo, ending her threat to this realm. We will. We will succeed. Enough, Mormo. Well, if it isn't the eldest of the cowardly Thaumaturge brothers. I thought you'd be busy whimpering under your bed, wishing that I'd just disappear. I've come to offer you a deal. I know that you seek the etheric energy needed to substantiate your true form, but how much time do you intend to waste feeding on these lesser mages? Compared to these crippling sorcerers and their trembling arcane flames, my power is as the blazing sun. Would you not prefer to take what I can give you? Drain my strength and assume your rightful appearance. I am sure that you think me a coward, but that is of no consequence. I only wish Kokobusi returned to us unharmed. You are wise to acquiesce, mage. You just see her run off in the background. What? Hi, Mormo. You look a lot like the mage, the succubus that I just beat up. Okay. At last, long last, my true body, my true power, is mine once more. I believe a stretching of the old arcane muscles is in order. Oh no. The scared little Lalafells. Oh. No, you don't, Void Scent. We won't leave. We won't let you leave here alive. So you risk your lives in a valiant rescue attempt? You should not bet what you are not prepared to lose. I shall tear the aether from your very marrow. I could do more creepy voice for demons, but I thought the random capitalized words worked better like that. I'm Ormo. Mormo turns out not that. He's killing the rest of them. No. We won. We won. Victory is ours. Kokabusi, Kokabuki. Mormo is dead. They'll just run all over the place. Okay, Kokabusi's alright. What? Where am I? Thank Thal, you're awake. Kokabuki, Kokabusi has returned to us. Our sibling has yet to stir from his solemn stupor. Somnolent stupor. Buki! No! Their older sibling is dead. Well, not dead, asleep? Perma-sleep. His etheric channels have contracted. They are barely sufficient to sustain the flow of his life force. If we do not increase his capacity for aether soon, his vitality will drain away completely. The potions that you made. My mana amplifying potion. Its potency is limited, but it just might be enough. Let's pour it all over his chin. It worked. He's awake. And they're all back together. I see the battle ended as I expected. You did it, Kokabusi. Your alchemy saved him. And all's well that ends well with the collection of 6 Lalafell siblings. And we would not have prevailed without you, Tegan. We will bear our brother back to the ossuary. Pray meet us there, and we might properly express our gratitude. Yeah. We did it. I fly back to the rain and green fog. Yeah, we then fly back to the Thaumaturgist Guild, we hand that in, and that's the end of the Thaumaturgy quest line, I believe. Because they then direct us to the Black Mage trainer. And then we can go and become a Black Mage. Now that we're level 31. So 1 to 10 took 40 minutes. 10 to 20 took an hour and 10 minutes. 20 to 30 took like 2 hours. So they are exponentially getting longer. So I might make it to like 30 something or 40 by the end of the stream. Probably not. I am 30 something already. 31, level 31 already. But I'm probably not going to make it up to level 40. But that then just means that next stream we can do the whatever level we make to 50. There should be plenty of time in next stream to do that. The next stream, of course, being tomorrow, so that should all be good. Kokabuki! Yeah. Thank you, Tegan. After seeking refuge in the comforting shadows of the abyss for so long, I had lost sight of our blazing glory of which thaumaturgy is capable. The raw power and audacity of your magecraft has freed my brothers and me from our self-imposed cowardice. I thought Thal himself had his finger at my throat, but this sensation of hard-won supremacy is strangely satisfying. As for you, Kokabusi, you are our brother and our respected colleague. I hope you never again underestimate the precious power you wield. Tegan, you have exceeded all my expectations. In recognition of your outstanding growth as a thaumaturge, I shall impart on to you one of the Guild's most closely guarded techniques. Mana Ward. It's a defensive weaving of energies that blunts the force of any attack made against you. I'm sure you can understand why we do not teach this secret to every stray hedge wizard who chooses to join our ranks. Now that you have experienced the deadliest threats, and the joy that comes with their obliteration, I'm certain you are eager to explore just how deep you might descend into the chasm of thaumaturgy. May your struggles bring wisdom, and your wisdom bring courage. I, for one, look forward to hearing of your future thaumaturgical endeavours. Yeah. Thaumaturgical endeavours. I learned Mana Ward. Just go here. Ooh. Oh, it's the long stop pole. Goblin staff. Now we can go back to Yayake. Taking the black, which gets us Mana Font and the Soul of the Black Mage. Deacon, I've been waiting for you in a way. Please, let me explain. Do you know the Marasaja Pit? It's a prison here in Uldar. In prison, a man will do almost anything to keep his mind occupied. Of late, one inmate claims to hear the voice of Thal. No doubt he has lost his mind after serving 100 years of a life sentence. But he knew of you by name, Tegan, and maintains the trader's demand you win the gem of Shatoto and exchange it for his release. A farce, no doubt. I make it for nothing more than a maniacal ravings of a cell-crazed, sweaty-toothed madman. Sweaty teeth. Ugh. But I fear the only way to be sure is to free him of the pit. The prisoner's name is Kukuruka Tataruka. Yep. And as if his story were not proof enough of his lunacy, he also styles himself a black mage. But such magic was lost to Eorzea centuries ago. Who does this senile charlatan think he will fool with such rubbish? Nevertheless, he has invoked the name of Nald Thal, and so the Order feels it unwise to ignore his words. Though I am still no believer, you have come as he said you would. So, let us get to the bottom of this, shall we? It may be that you are an agent of fate, or perhaps you are merely a crooked old man's accomplice. In either case, I ask that you travel to Highbridge in eastern Thamlan, seek out the Plane of Fissure, a rift between this world and the next, fell whatever beasts might lurk therein, and water the earth with their blood. According to our Geld Mummer, that means a jailed idiot, I think is what Mama translates to, roughly. Doing so will give rise to the gem of Shototo. The gem is no more than a pretty stone oft mentioned in bedtime stories and the tales of fairies. We shall see if it truly exists. I shall await your findings here. Return to me when the deed is done. Yep. Some guy's raving in jail about Malthal telling him that I need to go get this gem. It did say Easter, didn't it? Yeah, it mentioned Highbridge. A little bit of a flight, so we're going to hop on one of the mounts of music. Yeah, the torrential rain. I found the planar fissure. Void souls. Not that difficult to get. Yeah. Water the ground. Thaumaturge, hear me. Oh. Hello? You appear to be an Amalja. Put up your weapon, friend. Kazag Cha means you no harm. Okay. So you are the one of whom Kukuruka's prophecy speaks. By your hand was the blood of these creatures spilt upon the earthen vein, was it not? Yep. Yeah, that was me. Then you have earned this gem of Shototo. Take it. You will know what to do with it when the time comes. Fair enough. With this, my part is done. Farewell for now. Ah, the gem of Shototo is the Black Mage's job roll stone. Now I guess we go back to the guild. Oh. Let's listen to... Grab the mount out that was the Fall Guys crossover and listen to some Fall Guys music as we fly back. It looks very silly. Especially considering it's got a rocket coming out of its bum. Dearie me. Oh wait, it totally doesn't. What was actually happening was my orbs were leaving a little fire trail. It looked like a rocket coming out of its bum. It was not. Well, I got the gem of Shototo, technically. Well, you certainly smell as though you've been off spilling blood. But it will take more than a waft of foulness to convince me you are an agent of divine will. I take it yours was an eventful journey. Mm-hmm. It came out from behind the desk. It is exactly as described in the tales. Could it truly be the gem of Shototo? 12s be good. I can feel the magic pulsing within it. The tales tell that only souls blessed by the grace of Nalthal are entrusted with the keeping of this gem. This is beyond mere coincidence. I must investigate further. And you must assist me, Tegan. This now involves you as much as any other. Still, I cannot shake my inner skeptic. If Kukuruka somehow made contact with the outside world, he may be manipulating adventurers such as yourself for ends yet unknown to us. I will call an emergency council of the Order. Please wait here. Okay. Or not? That will not be necessary. Now that's someone who looks like a black mage. Oh. That's very clever how they did that. Kukuruka, what are you doing here? How have you escaped the pit? Watch your tongue, you insolent fool. Master has passed a century in meditation communing with Thaum. You will address him with the proper respect. The gaolers of the Maharaja pit are very different from the heretics of your order. Suffice it to say, they had wisdom enough to listen. Everyone in this storyline is a Lalafell, which works when I'm a Lalafell. But if I was like a Rogden, I'd just be in the background of every shot being huge for no reason. Must I remind you again, the will I speak is that of Nalthal himself. The true criminal is he who ignores the words of a god. Beware, Kukuruka. The 12 seldom spare those who claim their voice. This mummer's fast will bring disaster to us all. The source of the disaster to come will be no words of mine, of that be sure. Nalthal spoke upon me. By his own declaration, the seal of the Void Gate will be broken. Once thrown open, it can be closed once more by none but she who bears the gem of Shatoto. Yeah. I speak of you, Tegan Mooson. He knows who I am, and somehow gave me the gem back. Magic. The gem you hold is the mark of a mage of the black. With it in your hand, you must now set forth to gather the keys needed to seal the Void Gate. And then they just walk off. Wait, you can't. I mean, you don't have the right to. I just let this happen. I can't just let this happen. Silence, you hollow-pated prig. I have no idea what that means. Those who do not listen shall not be heard. You take for yourself the title of Thaumaturge, and so I will not suffer you to claim ignorance. You know as well as any of the existence of the netherworld, rife with shadows and monstrosities, the void. As the power of the void waxy, this look, the like high-collared coat, wide-brimmed hat that was sticking straight up, and then like the completely black visage with the yellow eyes. There's meant to be two, but on this person there's only one. Is a reference back to a different Final Fantasy game, like I mentioned before, Shadow. Because black mages always used to look like this. So through several Final Fantasy games, black mages looked like this, but with blue robes and the slightly more yellow hat. And that was just their aesthetic. It was just like you never see their face past their hood. Except in this, obviously, they can't just make every single character who wears a hat or has the black mage title suddenly lose a face. Because part of the game is making your character look pretty, and if you could never make a black mage have a visible face, you can't really make them look as pretty as some people might want. But I like that they brought it back by being like, shadow is cast over their face and their eye lights up. Yeah, it's just something quite nice. As the power of the void waxes, the barrier between it and our own world wanes. Eventually that barrier will falter, and the void gate will open. Once it has, only the black mage of Eld can reseal it. This is sacrilege. As one who now commands the forces of destruction, I bid you go forth, black mage. The gem of Shatoto is our sigil, the mark of the Magi devoted to the true dark arts. In it, you already possess the first key required to see the Void Gate sealed. You have taken the black, but that's the look. The blue high-collared coat, the yellowy tall brim hat, wide brim hat with tall cone and an orange strap, and then the brown gloves. That's what blue mages look like, but with the blacked out face and the yellow eyes. You have taken the black, but time is needed before the black takes you. Before it permeates mind and body and colours every fibre of your being dark as pitch. Visit Milvaneth's Sacrarium, and there hear the words of Lalai. Lalai being that Lalafell who's walking off now. Oh! I know that emote well. The little angry, annoyed emote. Do not fear the power to destroy. Master it, and with it destroy which would destroy you. Okay. Yeah, can't quit the gem yet because I haven't gone and spoken to him. We teleport over to the Miners Guild, and then we run across a little bit, and it's right there. I should be able to do this next quest. Let me just run over here. And he's up these steps. Hi. Master is mediating in his chambers. From now Thaum always speaks, and Master must listen. He has entrusted me with guiding you on your path, but you must walk alone yet. Come again when the black has grown stronger within you. I.e., equip the soul gem and come back and talk to me again. Black mage unlocked. The gem of Shototo imbues you with black magic. The next black mage quest is available upon reaching level 35. Oh, so there isn't a level 30 black mage quest. I can equip the gem. I can transfer all my hotbars across. Lovely. Hit the Y button. Quickly flick up here to make sure there's nothing new. Nope, there isn't. That's fine. Go to actions and traits. Anything new in these that I haven't? Font Blizzard 3 is at level 35. And Fire 3 is at level 35. Nice. And Umbral Soul is at level 35. What is that? Grants Umbral Ice, restores the amount of MP commensurate with your stack of Umbral Ice. Here it is, 52, ley lines. High Fire, High Blizzard, High Thunder, Flare Star. Sorry, some of these always sound very cool. Ethereal Manipulation is the teleport that Black Mage has, but it's teleport to a different party member. You just like slide over to one of your party members. Yep, those are all the same. Cool. Let's go have a look at our hunting log, see what we need to go kill. Aplanacia, Shroud, Southern Thanlan in the Sagoli Desert. I think that's where we're headed. We'll do a few of our hunting logs, see if we can finish it off in the last 25 minutes of this stream. So we'll see where we can get to. And anything that we don't manage to do, because obviously we haven't reached 50 in one stream, we can do on tomorrow's stream, because there is plenty of that to go. So we should easily be able to get 1 to 50 in 2 streams. Which is nice, because then that gives us a goal of like, I could do another one of these where I just go 1 to 50 in one of the other classes. Like, I still need a tank. So I could pick up one of the tank classes. Would be nice and simple to do. Flying my bed over the desert to try and find the enemies that I need to hunt. Yep, russet thousands. Every time I run around this area and it's just like all the grass that they added since I started playing. Like all of these bits of little patches of green and all the odd little tufts and all these little grasses and bushes. It used to just be like this standard grass. But these ones that just went up to where they go and then just stopped and then there was nothing. And then it just came out and was like a couple of little scrubby grasses here that are like the same as the ones the other side, and then desert. I think some of the bushes were here, but it just looks much more vivid now that they've just splashed extra grasses through and like a few extra bushes. I don't know, it just gives it a really nice vibe that they've just done everywhere that there's water. It's just nice. It's a nice little vibe. On Lantern Log was bombs in the Spaghetti Desert. Golden Fleece is over at the Burning Ball. There's the 3,000 ones. Flying Shark. This was the mount that I got by doing some ocean fishing. Flare on the sun. Beautiful. footprints in the sand. And I've walked like deep enough bits of sand, that is. Mine are just very small feet. Umbrella fight like this time. Look at that. The 3 little flowers that swirl around and the 2 ice baubles. Looks like they're trying to water the flowers. It's very fun. Oh, welcome back. You got an emergency call. Oh no. Hopefully everything's okay. I managed to get the Black Mage job upgrade, but the next Black Mage job quest is at 35, not 30, so I decided to go off and do a bit of my hunting log in the last little bit. Oh god! Well, hopefully she's okay. That is like... She's lucky that you were there nearby. Ooh. Oh no. Come on, Matilda, you can win. You can do it, Matilda. Yeah, Matilda victorious. It doesn't count towards my hunting log because I wasn't alive. Okay, note to self, I can't do the golden fleeces just yet. If my chocobo was a healer, then I could, because she would keep me up. For like the last hit that I needed there to be able to get the win in that battle. But unfortunately, she's not. She's aggressive. We have become a very aggressive team. She was meant to be there to help me deal damage as a healer. But now that I'm not on a healer... Yeah. We're doing to our hunting log and see what is in Upper Lancia. Eastern Lancia. I guess we go to Upper Lancia first. Fisherman's Guild. I think. I can get to Upper Lancia from one of these. No, it goes west or east. I think the airport side is closer. Well, the airport side is closer to run across it to get to Upper. That's at least something. We will grab on. You know what? We haven't been carried around by Ufiti for a while. Go, monkey! Fly! Do, 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 do. Okay, so we've got like 12 minutes left of this stream, which means we can do this hunting log and then I can have a brief chat about my plan for tomorrow's stream. Oh, that is a big tomberry. Level 50 hunt. I can't be doing that. Never mind. I can be jumping in on this though. Nobody's staring at me. I thought they were running over to kill the hunt enemy then. I was going to be so weirded out. I was going to be like, what? Are they seriously just doing like a random fate and then running off to fight the hunt enemy? It would have been impressive. Mamulja Executioners. Falcon. Oh. There we go. Okay, press the water perfectly. Like that. No, not quite. Ooh, salmon. I guess I can run and go attack those next. What? It's really bad. Thank goodness for Mana Ward. Fighting 3 of them at the same time. Yeah. But I got the hunt. I completed that. That was okay. That was not good. I shouldn't have just jumped down into the middle of them. I should have tried to do that fate properly. Well, it happens. It's only the third time I've died in this game ever, and all of them have been while playing Black Mage because I've got no way to heal myself because I'm not carrying potions around. But there we go. And I don't have a chocobo that heals me, so it's literally just me trying to kill things before they kill me. Which, in Fates, is more difficult. Yeah, I did spot those salamanders though. Oh. Oh, I really need to change where my home point is because respawning in Limpsa in the main square where it then has to load all the people is a lot. It ends up being very slow. Yeah, try and get some more. Actually, go to Costa because I know one of them was a set of flies in Eastern Anacea, and I think I know where those are. So we can get those on the way back up to the salamanders. I think. And then while we're doing that, I can mention some stuff.